Hi everyone, I'm Logan from FanAmp, and I'm here with Lynnette and Allison from IGAF1. Welcome, you two. We're so excited to have you on board.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited.
Good, I'm so glad. I can't believe that it's finally race week. It's come so fast. This off season flew by. I don't even think there was an off season.
I know it's so crazy. I feel like we had a break and it seemed long, and then all of a sudden we're here and it's like, oh my gosh, scrambling.
Yeah, seriously. The last race is always like, I feel like F1 fans dread it because it's like, no, the break, but then it flies by, and then DTS comes out, then testing, and then before you know it, it's already there for race weekend.
I know. I think we had enough going on though during the off season to kind of make us feel like F1 was back a little bit earlier.
Oh my gosh, yes. I've never had so much
Yeah,
drama in an off season. Like, it's been crazy.
yeah, that was wild to keep up with. Like something new every single week. It felt like,
Yeah,
yeah,
especially that
definitely
Lewis
made up for the
Hamilton
lack of.
news.
Yeah, I know. I remember that coming out, thinking like that can't be real. It can't be real because it was kind of being like teased. I feel like in May last year, and then all of a sudden it was
Yeah.
it was real.
It's teased every time he needs a new contract, they tease it.
Mhm. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think he's gonna look that good in the red suit. I can't really picture it with his, I don't know, his vibe and everything. It's not. It's gonna be interesting.
I feel like red might be his color, but I don't know.
I agree with you, Logan.
I think it might be a little. It'll be interesting. We'll have to get used to it. I wonder if he's gonna change his helmet around to like kind of match it a little bit better.
Yeah, those helmets that he creates are works of art. So, who are you rooting for?
I was a Ferrari fan. That's kind of like where I started, I would say, and I still am. But I love the McLaren boys. I think they're so exciting to watch. I'm like really hoping that Lando gets a win this year, and I want Oscar to get a win too.
I agree. I made the prediction. I was like, Oscar's going to get a win um, before
Lando.
Lando. We'll see. I don't know. Fingers
I
crossed.
know. It seems like weirdly more possible. I agree. Fingers crossed. How about you guys? Who are you rooting for?
Well, I'm a Ferrari fan from the beginning. I've always been a Ferrari fan, so that's my team.
Same. Well, not from the beginning, actually. My gateway into Formula One was actually Lewis, and big Lewis fan. But as far as teams go, it's never going to beat Ferrari for me. So definitely a Ferrari girl through and through, and always going to root for them over anybody else. So
Then it's great that Lewis is going to Ferrari. It makes it easier. You don't have to feel torn.
to be fair, I haven't really felt torn in a while, but I'm glad. I mean, it's a bittersweet thing, and we're sad to see Carlos go.
I know. I know. It'll be interesting to find out what he's doing. So I guess after all of that, I am kind of wondering how you guys got into Formula One and how IGF1 came to be. Like, how did you guys meet? What's the story behind everything?
Lynette?
Okay, well, I'll let you know how I got into F1. I started watching around in 2011, and we used to used to not show the races here in the U.S., so we would kind of like have to find different ways to watch it. And then around 2012, they started that next year. They finally started showing them, and I've just been watching ever since. My first race was in 2013 in Austin, and I've been going ever since to the Austin race. At least like it's a yearly thing that we go to that one. It's just such a good race to go to. And Yeah, in 2022, I actually met Allison at the race, and she brought up the idea of starting a podcast. And I mean, we just went with it. Like we met and hit it off, and we made it happen
She puts
within a
up with me.
few months. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Drive to
So you
Survive
guys didn't
fan.
know each other before?
No, we
No,
didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, we
no.
just met while we were walking around in between one of the breaks, and we started talking and talking Formula One,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah, kind of crazy. I started watching Drive to Survive during the pandemic. And so I am a DTS fan, and I'm repping all those new fans out there. Lynnette's repping all the older fans out there. So, um, and it's just great to have met Lynnette, because I feel like, there's no gatekeeping there. She's very happy to accept any and all that, are interested in Formula One. And when we got to chatting at the race, I was like, I feel like she's the one. Because I always wanted to start a podcast about Formula One. I didn't want to start a podcast about anything else. But I just felt like what a great way to kind of, I don't know, just get out there and talk about it. And so, yeah, here we are. Oh, but we have gone to quite a few races. Like, I feel like that's also where we have common ground. We've been to quite a few races, and our favorite is the same. So our favorite race is the same. So we had a lot to talk about.
Which is your favorite race?
Monza.
Monza.
Yeah, Monza. Yeah, I've been to 6 different tracks. So, but Monza is my favorite. Of course, I'm a Ferrari fan, so it's got to be Monza. And I went in 2019, so it was a good time to go.
Oh my gosh, that's the best time. I feel like that's every Ferrari fan's dream race.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many races have you guys been to together?
2?
2 last year, and then 2022 in Austin. Yeah, hopefully we'll make it out to one overseas. Get
together,
a little international race together.
IGAF1 goes to Paris.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Wow, I'd love to follow along with that.
Yeah, I actually, I'm planning to be in Spain this year for the Spanish GP. So I will be in Spain. Anyone there, hit me up, because we don't know anybody, and we're just going to be living the life.
Wow. That'll be an amazing race. Barcelona is such a great city. So you're not just going for the race, you're going for such like an atmospheric kind of event as well, which is going to be great. And we don't know how much longer Barcelona will be on the calendar too now with Madrid coming. So
yeah,
I guess you got to do it while you can.
I feel lucky that
timing.
I just so happened to pick it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love the dynamic with you two. Allison, you and I have very similar kind of paths into F1. I also started watching during quarantine, DTS fan through and through, and then became obsessed with it. And I'm constantly trying to defend myself, being like, no, like I actually know my stuff. Like, seriously, I'm a real fan. I may have watched Netflix, but so
yeah,
I love your point of view with that.
And I feel like after a certain amount of time, like it's been 6 seasons now. So I do feel like now it's like you sort of graduate from that into the world of F1, and you either take it to that next level or you stay a Drive to Survive fan. And there are those that just, they're just like, what do we call them?
Casual.
Yeah, casual
watchers.
F1 fans. And like, that's totally fine. But I kind of like went overboard with my like obsession. So here we are, and I love it whenever people take it to the next level and they just like start going to races and start engaging more in motorsport like content on Instagram and stuff. So that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I love that. That's so great. I guess I was kind of wondering too, just leading off of that, is what did you guys feel lacked in the Formula One community? What did you feel you were missing as a fan, I guess, with your podcast that you wanted to kind of like implement into this community?
So I think for us, when we were talking about the podcast and how we wanted to formulate it on a weekly basis, a lot of the talk that, we were looking at, obviously other creators, and there's a lot of women out there, believe it or not, that are in, the Formula One hemisphere, and they create amazing content. I will say like a lot of it is more geared towards like pop culture. It's more geared towards like, the driver's personal lives, things like that, and which we love. I mean, I will listen to it all day long, but I don't think that I necessarily need to talk about it all day long. It's just like a difference in what you prefer and how you I guess express yourself on the podcast. So for me and Lynnette, we want to focus more just on track, like the teams, the news, the race recaps, predictions, and then we want to get like our people who follow us involved and provide a way for them to like, get their talk out as well. Because as a F1 fan, it is hard to find other F1 fans, even though it is kind of it's a big thing now. It's still growing, and it's hard to find those people that you love to chat with every week about it. And so that's kind of why we're here, is we just want to keep it fully motorsport, like fully F1, and just be two girls like talking about it. So it's really, it's not that complicated of a formula, but I think that there is a need for that. And so we're here to deliver.
Yeah. And then another thing that I wanted to do, like with our podcast, was kind of keep it pretty neutral. Like I said, I'm a Ferrari fan, like hardcore, but for the podcast, I didn't want to make anybody feel left out and have us be bashing drivers or bashing anybody in Formula One or focusing too much on one driver, right? We kind of just want to focus on performance, the teams, like just talk about all of that and not really alienate anybody. And if we do give some criticism, it's more just on performance or how the team did, or, things like that, like technical things, and not really focus on personal or gossip or any of that kind of stuff. So we kind of want to just have everybody involved.
Yeah. And like some of the current news that's been coming out, like certain things like that, we won't comment on it unless it's like, okay, this is like what it actually is happening. And then we're able to speak to it. We kind of try to keep the drama as much away from the podcast as we can, because we just want it to be like a fun space where we're talking about, the teams and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, people have strong opinions, and it doesn't matter what they think. If you say something opposite than what they believe, they're going to just go out all on you. So we'd rather just, once it's official, we can talk about it and just talk about the facts, and that's it.
I love that. And I think you guys have a great balance with that, where it's fun, but you can also talk about the serious things. And sometimes that definitely lacks in some like content creators' work, where it's like they can't do both sort of things sometimes. And I feel like you guys have really managed that very well. And being neutral is hard, especially when you're a diehard fan for things. Yeah. But I think overall it's great, and you really appeal to kind of everyone's interests, which has been super awesome to listen to.
Thanks.
I love hearing news from women coming from the motorsport world, because like you're kind of saying, I feel like that's really lacking. Or if I do see it, it's like strictly that, and that's all we're getting from that one person.
Right.
And we're not getting kind of like the fun side a little bit as well with driver things or with other news, or kind of a female take on any of that either. It's basically just the facts. So
yeah, I
feel like you guys definitely have provided a more fun way and a different kind of perspective, which has been awesome to see.
Thanks. Well, now we have an outlet for all of our followers to be able to chat and have a safe space to converse with each other about the races. So we're excited to be part of the FanAmp family.
We're so excited to have you guys. I guess that also leads me to my next question, is just what can your audience expect from the partnership with FanAmp? What are they going to be getting out of it, basically?
So we have one channel. It's going to be called the Pit Crew segment, or the Pit Crew channel, which is basically just like an open forum. We're going to be talking about like the race weekends and any news. We'll probably just chat about we'll probably also let everyone know ahead of time if we're doing like merch drops, because we have merch as well. So we'll do that all within that channel. And then the other channel is just questions for the pod. It's like an open question chat. So like if they have questions for us, they just drop them in there, and then we give them a shout out on the podcast and we talk about it.
Yeah, we love getting everybody involved and like
we
giving us
things
to talk about.
Yeah, with podcasts, I feel like it's kind of a once a week thing. So I'm glad that you guys now have a space where you can continue the conversation all throughout the week. And yeah, people have been super active as well. It's very exciting to see everyone getting re-excited about Formula One. I feel like it kind of, everyone's waking up again and realizing like, oh my God, it's race week. Like, let's get going. Let's get talking about it again. And as we were talking about earlier, there's been no shortage of things to talk about. So I'm thinking this season is going to be very eventful. And yeah, your channel will be an awesome place to kind of get the conversations going.
Yeah, we're excited. I still can't believe it's here.
I know. Way too fast, but it's good. We need this.
Yeah.
We need this as fans. Are both of your partners into F1 as well? Have you kind of forced them down that path now, or were they into it?
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Juan
my
forced
husband
Lynnette.
was into it before. That's how I got into it.
Yeah.
And we just started watching together.
Hey.
So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
my husband and I watched Drive to Survive together during like the pandemic. So we were just it was like our only thing that we could do was watch episodes and episodes of the show. And so when we were finally able to get out, we went to our first F1 race in Austin, and I just remember that was like the biggest crowd that I had been in since COVID. And I remember thinking, well, at least we're outside. Like, there's so many people here.
that crowd in 2021 in Austin was insane. I mean, I had
Insane.
never, ever seen it like that. I mean, I have pictures and you just see all these empty seats and it's, there's tons of room and like that hill on turn one. I back then I thought, oh wow, it's packed. But I remember turning around and looking back there and I was just like, wow, like there was not a touch of green from the grass that you could see. It was insane. I'm like, okay, either everybody is happy to be out or I
You
don't know
got
what
some new
happened.
fans. You got some new fans. That's what
Yeah, there's some
happened.
new fans. I hadn't realized the whole Drive to Survive thing.
Yeah, I loved having like I guess like a hobby with my husband because there's a lot of like marriages out there where it's like, okay, the wife does this, the husband does this, and you just kind of do your own thing. But whenever you find something that you both love that you can also travel and do together,
That's a plus.
yeah, it's
The travel.
amazing. It's amazing.
No, this is definitely an intense hobby to have together, which is great. It's not just like watching Breaking Bad on the couch, basically. It's a show and real life. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one. How old are your boys, Allison? Do you think they're gonna get into it?
Oh
Are you
my
gonna try and
gosh,
get them into
y'all,
it?
you would not believe. I have twin boys. They're 4. And we always used to joke that like it's all on us because if they want to be race car drivers, like it's all on us because like we basically forced it on them. They used to sit in their high chairs when they were little on Sunday mornings and eat their breakfast while we watched the races. And I was just like, okay, one of my sons is like OCD obsessed with cars, like mostly just Hot Wheels. But it's like he knows every single car in his car collection. Like if you get him the same one, he's like, I already have that. I'm like, you're 4. How do you remember this? But what's so crazy is the other day I was like, some teacher asked me like, oh, what does Brady want to be when he grows up? I'm like, I know what he wants to be. He wants to be a race car driver. And Brady was like, no, I want to be a mechanic. He was like, I want to work on cars. And I was like, you don't want to be a race car driver?
That's
Thank
cute. That means
you.
he really, really likes the car.
Yeah. Yeah. He's 4 years old and he wants to be a mechanic. So I'm like, okay, F1, we got this. We're going to get him in. He's going to be on the pit crew for Ferrari. He's going to be he's going to be traveling around the world. Like, oh, I'm so excited for him. I mean, I think that's amazing. So, yeah.
That is amazing. Wow. Yeah, a future race engineer for sure for F1 for Ferrari.
Yeah. We're going to turn that mechanic into like an engineer role. We're going to just like be designing
You
cars.
gotta start somewhere.
You got
Move
to
your
start
way up.
somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't know what he wants to do exactly.
I love his
yet. He
modest
doesn't know what
goals. He's
mechanic
just
really
like,
means.
look, this is what I can do. But yeah, we're gonna elevate that.
I was kind of wondering if you could interview anyone in the Formula world, who would it be and why? Because I know that you guys are have a bunch of interviews on your channel already, but if you could interview a driver or a team principal or just anyone in that realm, who would it be?
Lynette?
Well, I'm going to say that I would like to interview Sebastian Vettel because he's my favorite Formula One driver ever.
I knew you would say that.
I know. Well, I get asked this question and I always give a different answer. So I'm going to go ahead and give that one. But you know what? I wish that Allison had watched Formula One when he was in Ferrari because she would think completely different. And like, it was just a whole other world with Ferrari when he was there. So I wish she would have watched live. But yeah, I think it would make a good interview. I think he's like has a good, funny personality. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, I think now I just know him as like, you know, just very granola. Like he like wants to save the world and all that stuff, which is
Yeah.
amazing. It's very commendable. Cleaning up the stands after fans and stuff like that. I love that. But I just never
It was
really
a
got to
different
see
world.
him.
It was a different world back then.
Yeah. I never
You
got to
missed
see
out.
him. I need to go back to the replays. Like, can we
Yeah.
get some Drive to Survive seasons prior?
Yeah. Yeah.
But oh gosh, this is a tough one. But it's not, because I would totally want to interview Charles Leclerc. Yeah, because he's my favorite driver. So I just think he would be really cool to interview. And I would really be curious what it's like growing up in Monaco, just because, I've been there, traveled there, spent time there. I love it. But just to live there would be like so interesting to me. I can't think about it. And he's like, he's the Monaco, driver. So,
Yeah. He's like their mascot.
yeah. And I think I would be really interested in hearing more about, his relationship with Jill Bianchi and, just how close they were and how much of an inspiration he was. And, he's also had another friend, I believe, as well, who passed away in a driving accident. So, he's been through a lot. His dad passed away. Just kind of how do you overcome the grief of that and still do an amazing job, racing every weekend. And yeah, he's very inspirational to me. So I would love to interview him.
Oh, I love that.
Have you never heard me talk about him like that, Lynnette?
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. He's like heart and soul for me.
Yeah, I feel like there's more to him than just his good
Oh
looks.
yeah.
And he's so
Secondary.
open to about kind of his like humble upbringing in Monaco as well, which is not really something people think about when they hear Monaco. It's like all lavish and luxury. So it'd be interesting to kind of hear, I guess, how he felt growing up, whether he felt like he fit in or whatever. And then obviously going into race car driving, which is one of the most prestigious and expensive sports ever as well. So yeah, I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Not very creative, but
well, I think your take on it is creative.
We went with our easy, basic answers this time.
I love the Sebastian Vettel answer as well, because I feel like I'd love to know what he thought of his Red Bull years as well, because he was kind of known as the villain back then. Like, I wish I watched Formula One back then, and for his Ferrari years too.
Yeah.
And just kind of watching him grow and mature through that. Like, I feel like that's kind of where Max Verstappen is maybe heading, where people don't like him right now. He's winning all the time, and then maybe he'll just kind of keep doing it because, like, it's his favorite thing ever.
Yeah. I think he's grown on me quite a bit. I will say, and Lynnette knows, like, I was very put off by Max just because, I don't know, I just wanted him to be relatable, and he's just not, because he's a winner and he has that like winning mentality, and he's an extremely talented driver. And I think I'm learning more and more as I watch him, like how much respect I have for him, and just his like whole persona. So I think drivers can definitely turn around their reputation when it comes to Formula One and the years that they spend in it. And I also think he's just becoming so comfortable in his own skin, because he was just not very funny, like just very serious all the time. And you're starting to see this side of him that's coming out that's a bit more, just a little bit more cheeky. Like he'll like joke around a lot more with people. And I like that side. So I'm hoping I get to see more of that.
I agree. And I think you and I, being DTS fans as well, he wasn't portrayed very well in the show.
Right.
Like, he was kind of portrayed as the villain too. So I remember watching like my first season, I was rooting against him every single time. And I kind of still do, because I want someone else to win, but it's not necessarily about his character anymore. It's just more like, not Red Bull.
Right.
Yeah, but like, he's so close with all the other drivers, so I feel like there's a side to him that none of us fans really will get to see. And I kind of like that, because he's just about the racing. So like you were saying, like, I have so much respect for him now too.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's more relaxed and kind of in his element now, that he's kind of letting himself let loose a bit, which is exciting to see from the fan perspective for sure.
Yeah. I just wish we could see other drivers in his car. Like, I just really wish that we could just have 10 Red Bulls or 20 Red Bulls and just have every driver drive it, because I'm so curious. Like, I want to see, who would win in a head-to-head, like, okay, you're all driving the same shit. Get on there and either make it or break it.
I know. I feel like when you look back at the history of F1, there's always been someone more dominant. Like, people are getting sick of the Red Bull dominance right now, but then you look at Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, and then before that, like Schumacher. Like, there's always someone winning, and Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull. So you can't really hate it. And I feel like people are forgetting that we're like watching history be made with every single record being broken. Max beating his own records. It's crazy. It's like, how many more times can he do it? And then one of these days, another car is just going to come and beat him, and we're going to forget all about Max Verstappen's dominance, and all the fans are going to be wishing to go back to that time period.
Yeah.
So I think it's crazy when I hear people complain about Max winning all the time and how it's boring, and then they say, I want Lewis to win again, or like Lewis to win his 8th, or for him to win a race. And I'm just like, no, like you can't say that you're bored having Max win, but then now you want the guy who's pretty much won the most races ever to win again. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, true. That kind of makes sense, Lynnette. We just need a few more like Ferrari, McLaren wins. Mix it up a little bit.
So for this upcoming season, Allison, you've got Spain, and I'm assuming both of you have Coda again, but do you guys have any other kind of exciting events or plans for the 2024 season?
Not really, not for me. That's about it. Just hopefully looking forward to any other opportunities that come up. Last year we got to do some stuff with Coda, and we went out for a day on the track with them and had a good time there. And so, who knows what else comes up this year with Formula One. So
Yeah, I would have really liked to have gone to one of the car launch parties. So maybe next year that would be like a goal for us to make like a car launch party or something. And then, but that's really it as far as races, unless something just like comes up, randomly, like Miami, come on, hit us up. Like, we'll be there in a heartbeat. It's a 2-hour flight. Come on, come at your girl. No, we're taking it easy, but we're also taking our podcast pretty seriously this year. We just want to make sure we provide quality content for our followers and get some fun interviews. So looking forward to that. And we'll make it to more races. We usually do that anyway, just for fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more exciting not having too much planned, because then you get to look back on this moment halfway through the season and be like, oh my gosh, we ended up doing this, this, and this, and we didn't even know we were going to.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting, and I'm sure big things will come.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever do a live show, like a live podcast?
That's always been an option for us. What do you think?
I don't know. We could. I don't know how exactly it would work, but
I think they do them on YouTube. And possibly Riverside. We need to figure that out. But yeah, a live podcast would be awesome, or like one in person. We've also thought about maybe doing like watch parties. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think we kind of want to focus like just creating good content. Like, obviously going to the races is fun. I think like personal, experience. But as far as like for the podcast, I think that we can sometimes even bring more to our listeners by, I don't know, being in the studio or recording or creating, content for Instagram or YouTube. Just a better way that they can engage with us.
Yeah. And I tend to think that like, if you're floating content out there all the time about how many races you go to, people are like, okay, get it. We get it. You go to a lot of races, we just kind of want to be here for like for our followers and like give them interesting, information. Like we'll do like reels on aero rakes and FlowViz and like track facts and things like that. And I feel like it's hard to do that if you're traveling and going to all the races all the time. As much as we love going to races, I also have a full-time job as well. So I don't have all the time in the world to do that. And I think it's fun to just kind of pick and choose the ones that you like and be able to go and have those experiences and not be working, like you said, because if you're going for work, it can be a little bit stressful sometimes too. So I'm with you on that, Logan. Just kind of like picking the races that we feel like would be the most fun and going with those.
Yeah, and I feel like people don't realize too unless you've been to a race, but when you are at the actual race, like it's actually hard to know what's
It
going on.
is.
Like I was saying to Lynette before we started, I went to Imola, but I had no idea what was going on at the rest of the track, basically, unless you're kind of situated in an area with a big screen and you've got people telling you, like, my phone wasn't working, I couldn't see the live timing, everything was in Italian, so I had no idea what was going on, and you kind of don't know until after, too.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're going with, like, creating content in mind, it's actually a lot harder than people might think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, my first Formula One race, I was so lost. I was just like, what the heck is happening? I have no idea who that is on track. No idea. I know it's a Ferrari. Which one? You got me. I have no idea. Lynette kind of taught me, like, okay, the helmets, though. I'm like, yeah, that's right. The helmets, they're different. That was kind of how I started to figure out, like, the differences
And
between
then you
the
have the
drivers.
yellow, the little yellow above above their helmet in the car. You can see which driver. That way also. There's different ways. You start
Yeah.
to learn once you're there. You're like, okay, who's this?
I mean, nothing will replace being at a race live, like the feeling and everything, but I do, there are those moments where I'm really happy to just be in front of a TV and watch it so that I can kind of get, like, even the helmet cams, stuff like that. Like
The radio.
yeah, the
You
radios.
can't hear them when you're at the race.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, I think if we were at races, if we were at 100% of the races all year round, I feel like we would miss a lot. So, yeah, like I don't ever want to miss Coda because Coda is like our home. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And we want to enjoy it when we go and not have the fun and excitement be taken away by putting stress on ourselves that we have to create this or show something for other people. We can do it other ways.
yeah,
I'm sure it's tough to balance sometimes because you guys are fans first and kind of podcasters second, I guess. So when you go to a race, it's like, selfishly, I'm sure you want to be like, okay, phones and stuff away. Let's just enjoy this. Let's just take this in. But then I'm sure in the back of your mind, you're like, oh my God, we have to share this. How could we not?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like kind of prioritizing only a couple races makes it easier for you guys to find that balance.
yeah, for sure. And also, like we said, I just feel like people don't want to see that you go to like a ton of races, and they're like, okay, like stop like bragging about how many races you go to. So
Yeah, and there's only so much you can show being at a race before it gets, okay, I can see this on TV or anybody else. So
yeah.
What would be a dream circuit for you guys to go to if you could go to any race on the calendar?
I think Lynette's already been to her dream race, but
yeah, I've already been to my dream circuit and pretty much dream race. Seeing Charles win in Monza, that was incredible. But I'd like to go to Spa and just like see the cars going up Eau Rouge and let me see which other ones. Austria would be nice. That looks really nice. But Imola is definitely on my list to go just because it's not going to be on the calendar for long. I'm sure after this. So, like being a Ferrari fan in Italy, you have to go to that one. And I mean, the track is named after the founder of Ferrari. Like, why wouldn't you want to go? So, yeah. But yeah, I would say those are on my list.
Yeah.
I'll go anywhere.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think any of them are bad. I think, well, I told Lynette actually, there's races that I wouldn't want to go to, which are the ones where you cannot drink while you're on track. Look, I'm a Texas girl. I like my cocktail. I like my margaritas. I like, I need to have something that I'm sipping on while I'm watching the cars. But as far as favorite or like dream races, Lynette said it right. Like Monza for sure was top of the list, and we made it happen. So aside from that, Monaco, I would really love to go to Monaco just for the vibes. And then Imola for sure, just because, all the history. And Silverstone. I think Silverstone would be a really cool track to watch the race. And also, we've got buddies in the UK. I feel like we have friends. I feel like Lynette and I, we would have a place to stay.
Yeah. That would make it all the better. Going and meeting some people, making new friends at the race while watching Silverstone, I feel like that would be That's definitely
Yeah, for sure.
and Monaco. That would be amazing. But I feel like Monaco, as a fan, you're not really even going to watch the race. It's just for every other aspect.
Yeah, it's for the vibes.
You can't see it. You see the cars for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's for the vibes, exactly.
I just want to say I went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, while
Literally,
you're
yeah.
watching, there's not much of a vibe because there's really no room, really. So I think, because I've been to that one, so I think other tracks have a better vibe during the race. Maybe after, I'm sure that's a whole other story, or if you're on a yacht. But there's
Come on,
such little
Lynnette.
room
We got to
that
get on a
there's
yacht.
really nowhere to go. I know, right?
Yeah. I feel like the Monaco GP is like that one meme where it's like going to the Monaco GP and it's kind of like meh,
Yeah.
but then telling people I went to the Monaco GP.
Yeah. It's like you have to
which
go
is
if you're a
the
fan.
coolest part.
Yeah, you just have to go.
Yeah,
It's for clout.
exactly. Just once. Yeah. Bragging
Yeah.
rights. I know that you guys mentioned that you do merch as well. I was kind of wondering if you have any new designs coming out or if you have a favorite design right now. I personally love your Carlos Sainz chili
Oh,
pepper
we'll send you one.
design. I love
We'll
that
send you a
one.
shirt. Just
Oh my
give us your
God, I would
address.
wear that
I mean, maybe not a
24/7.
Thailand address, but like
Yeah.
give us a local
Yeah,
address.
no.
We'll send you one.
I will.
This is my favorite.
Love that.
Princess George.
I love that one too.
Yeah, we're working on some new stuff for this year too. So
We kind of
hopefully those are out.
the
soon.
good thing is like we can kind of like get it out as it happens, which is great. Our merch it's just really fun. It's not anything like special, but we love it because they're very niche. Like you have to
Like,
be
if you know, you
watching.
know.
Yeah, like if you know, you know. Um, so yeah, between that and like the incident shirts and stuff like that, those are probably our most popular.
I love them. Like you said, it's very, if you know, you know, very niche designs. But I love how kind of like, they're very minimal too. You can wear it every single day and people won't see it and be like, oh my God, like Formula One fan. No, it's like very like kind of subtle. But if you know, you know
Yeah,
it.
and if someone
You'll
sees you
know
and they
it.
know your shirt, you know those are your people.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a great conversation starter.
Yes. We're already trying to get some Drive to Survive notes in there. Like, okay, what do they say that's really funny? I need to like write that down.
I know. Like, come on, guys, be funny.
Like,
Say
I'm
something
sorry,
good.
but we can't make a shirt, guys, that says "Can you wank yet?" Like, it's just not. It's just not happening.
No.
Unless there's like an influx of
No,
requests,
but yeah.
maybe we can make it happen. But I just feel like that's a little much.
You could do, I'm saving all my energy for the car. With
Yes,
face.
that's a good one.
There you go.
That's
And
a
then the
good
people
one.
would know. Yeah. Do you guys design them yourselves or do you have a collaborator?
We design them.
Yeah, we do.
Wow. That's great. I love them. Yeah. Keep up the good work. They're so unique too, which is amazing. Like I haven't seen anything else like them.
Thanks.
So they're awesome.
Thank you. We just feel like they're just fun, and it's like we have always I've always wanted to be able to like buy merch, but I couldn't find what I wanted. So it was like, why not just make it?
Yeah. Well, I think you're definitely making it for the rest of the fandom who felt like there was merch missing. So we love it. And I will definitely be purchasing some pieces, probably when I'm back from Asia.
Sounds good.
Yes. I think that was kind of all the questions I had, guys. But I guess the last thing would just be, where can people find you? Give yourself a little shameless plug. And any last things that you wanted to mention.
Oh, shameless plug every day. Lynnette, you want to plug us?
Yeah. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, IGAF1 podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple, and on Instagram we're posting pretty much every day, a few times a week. Our podcast episodes come out once a week for the race recaps, and we might start doing a little more depending on with time and the schedules what we can do. But for sure we have our race recaps every week, and that's it. And our merch, shop igaf1.com.
Yep.
Guys, and on behalf of FanAmp, we are so excited to have you guys on board, and we can't wait for this race weekend and to get the channel live and have everyone in there. And I hope to meet you guys at COTA one day. That would be the best.
Yes. Let us know if you come. We'd love to meet you. Or if you're in Spain, hit me up.
Yes.
We're always trying to get everyone to
Sounds
come
good,
out to
guys.
COTA because
It's our
it's such a
favorite.
good time.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for your time. That was great. And again, we are so excited to see you guys on the app and at the track.
Thanks for
hopefully.
having us.